We begin the day with the two men who now have 2 weeks to win over most of the voters in Turkey. On May 28th, for the first time in its history, Turkey will hold a runoff presidential election. Incumbent President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan and his strongest challenger, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. Voters gave both of these candidates the most support in yesterday's national election, but neither won a majority. Turkey's skyrocketing inflation, its plummeting lira, and a nation's uncertainties, they will have to endure 2 more weeks. Will the result bring resolution? Well, that depends who you are and where you are. The winning candidate in rural Anatolia may look different in downtown Istanbul. Europe's first choice may be Russia's last option. We have more now in this report.
They came expecting a victory speech. But unlike his previous presidential elections, Recep Tayyip Erdoğan couldn't claim a first-round win for his waiting supporters. Before all the ballots were even counted, Turkey's incumbent president accepted he may face a runoff.
If our nation has made its choice in favor of the second round of the election, then that is also welcome.
His main rival, Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu, also said he was ready for another vote.
If our nation says second round, we gladly accept it. We will absolutely win this election in the second round. Everyone will see that.
With a runoff now confirmed, voters must wait another 2 weeks to know who will take power.
The country's been struggling lately. A change in government would shake it further. That's why both candidates are problematic for me. That's why I can't say I voted with conviction.
It was obvious from the start that this was going to go to a second round. And now that that's happening, no one's surprised. We just have to wait. I'm upset. This shouldn't have been the result. Even with a slight lead, the first round has been one of the toughest tests for Erdoğan. But the runoff is likely to be an uphill battle for Kılıçdaroğlu.
Well, joining me now is Seren Selvin Korkmaz, a researcher at the Stockholm University Institute for Turkish Studies and head of the Istanbul-based think tank Istanbul Institute. It's good to have you with us. Let's just talk about the election that just took place yesterday. Would you say that this, by and large, was a free and fair election with no serious irregularities?
Yes, actually, there was no serious irregularities yesterday's election, but we can't say that it's a fair elections because Turkey is now categorized as a competitive authoritarian regime where elections are held regularly, but the competition among political parties are not fair. So before the elections, we can say that the government has used the state resources for the political campaigns, and also independent judicial bodies are controlled by the government officials. And just last year, election rules are changed to the actually for the favor of the government. So we can say that this was not a fair election.
I want to ask you if you can confirm a statistic that I heard today that during the official campaign time, President Erdoğan and his party received 32 hours of free airtime on public state television. The opposition parties, all of them together, received 32 minutes of free airtime. Is that true?
Exactly. And also the government has used its domination in not only for the official media, but also the pro-government media. So they used this power very effectively, actually.
And how do you explain the fact that President Erdoğan was able to defy the predictions and the polls? I mean, this was supposed to be the opposition's vote to lose yesterday.
Actually, depends on many polls. It was unexpected to see that Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu will be in the first round. So that this was unexpected results. But he has three main strategy. First of all, he tried to manage the loyalty. So he aimed to reward the loyals and punish the disloyals, and he pushed his base to around himself. And secondly, he managed the perception, actually. When you watch the pro-government channels, media outlets, you can say that Erdoğan tried to ensure that he is the only man who can ensure the stability in the country, and especially in the earthquake-hit zones. By using the pro-government media, he has created an image that he can only ensure the rebuilding in this area, so that he managed this well, and also he used the identity politics to boost his base.
Well, shouldn't he have performed even better? Shouldn't he have won the election, considering his grip on media in Turkey?
Yes, but President Erdoğan also suffers from the economic crisis. First of all, it has created a disappointment among his supporters, but also he has challenged by the unified opposition. That's why we have these results.
And moving forward, the next 2 weeks, what do you foresee happening in this runoff campaign for both of these candidates?
First of all, even though President Erdoğan's party, the AKP, has lost some supporters, his People's Alliance has consolidated his power in the parliamentary. That's why by using this, they will more close to get the second round. And there is a third candidate, Mr. Sinan Oğan. He gets unexpectedly 5% vote, and so his support to one of these candidates will be also decisive factor. But Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu's job, by losing also the parliamentary majority, will be difficult in the second round.
And that is the catch-22, isn't it, for Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu? If he becomes the new president of Turkey, he will still have to deal with a parliament that will have in its majority the AK party of Mr. Erdoğan, right?
Yes, this was exactly a challenging issue for Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu, but if they get the presidential executive power, with this executive power, they can also ensure the reforms that they provided for the society. So this will be not so much challenging for them to get the executive power.
Okay, well, we will be watching closely what happens for the next 2 weeks in Turkey. Turkey researcher Seren Selvin Korkmaz, we appreciate your time and your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.